Tensions in the South China Sea are escalating as China and its neighbors increasingly use commercial fishing vessels and warships to stake hotly disputed territorial claims and harvest one of the world's most fragile fishing grounds. China claims more than 80% of the sea, and it bases that claim on a 70-year-old map that marks its territory with 9 dashes that reaches down 1,800 kilometers from its southern island of Hainan. The UN has recently ruled that this claim is invalid, but this has only made China more aggressive in enforcing its claim. This claim-staking contest is now having severe repercussions, as fishermen are reporting dwindling fish stocks after China subsidized its massive fishing fleet with billions of dollars, which led to overfishing, and the destruction of coral reefs, which are vital to the fast regeneration of fish stocks. According to marine biologist Professor John McManus from the University of Miami, he said there are about 570 species of coral in the region, and these bring thousands of species of fish. However, scientists like McManus now predict that this whole ecosystem will collapse under the weight of overfishing and the coral destruction caused by China's construction of new military bases on top of coral reefs. More than 104 square kilometers of coral reef has also been destroyed by giant clam poachers who use boat propellers to hack apart coral reefs and pry out the giant clams, which are a delicacy in China. Another 57 square kilometers have been destroyed by China's base-building activities. 2 U.S. aircraft carriers conducted drills at the South China Sea in a significant show of force, according to the Navy. CNN reports that the exercise on July 4th was the first in 6 years to involve dual U.S. carrier strike groups in the maritime region. The carriers transited from the Philippine Sea for drills that were seen as a challenge to China's own drills at the Paracel Islands, which saw the firing of an anti-ship missile the previous day. U.S. Navy Institute News reports that Chinese warships observed the carriers. The U.S. carrier strike force consisted of the nuclear-powered warriors Nimitz and Reagan, with more than 60 aircraft each, supported by Arleigh Burke-class guided missiles destroyers and Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruisers. The Paracel Islands are an archipelago in the disputed South China Sea. China has laid claims to the region. Areas of the South China Sea are also claimed by Taiwan, the Philippines, and Vietnam. The South China Sea is strategically important because it is one of the world's busiest maritime regions. The dueling exercises were followed by a war of words. China's state-run Global Times tweeted, "The U.S. carriers are at the pleasure of the PLA." The U.S. Navy responded by saying, "And yet, there they are." China is planning to build 20 floating nuclear power plants in the South China Sea. Construction for the first one starts this year. According to Asia Times, Chinese authorities have officially announced plans to start building the first floating nuclear power plant in the South China Sea. These are designed to power surrounding artificial islands being built in the region. Floating nuclear power plants are offshore platforms containing small nuclear reactors built to power hard to reach islands or islets. Roughly 20 floating nuclear stations could be built to power troops and residents in the Spratlys and Paracel Islands. These regions are disputed between China, Taiwan, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Asia Times reports that the first floating nuclear reactor will be functional and seaworthy by 2021. A prototype is currently being tested off the coast of China's Shandong province. According to Chinese state news agency Xinhua Net, the first floating nuclear power platform would cost roughly $2.1 billion.
Military aircraft have recently been spotted on a Chinese-controlled island in the contested South China Sea in the first known deployment of fighter jets there since 2017. CNN reports that a satellite image from ImageSat International shows China has deployed 4 Chengdu J10 fighter jets to Woody Island in the Paracels. Analysts told CNN that both the placement of the jets out in the open and the equipment accompanying them indicate they were on the disputed island for up to 10 days. The planes were also not carrying external fuel tanks, suggesting they were to be refueled on Woody Island. According to a former operations director at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center, the deployment is a statement that China can extend their air power reach over the region. With the J-10's aircraft's combat range of up to 500 miles or 750 kilometers, this puts the South China Sea and other vital shipping lanes well within reach. Former Australian Air Force officer and current Griffiths Institute fellow Peter Layton speculated that it could also be early training deployment to get the J-10s ready for an ADIZ declaration. An ADIZ, or Air Defense Identification Zone, would require aircraft flying over the disputed waters to first notify Beijing. For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.